welcome to the second edition of the Tom and Gerry Show. I'm Tom O'Mahony.
And I'm Gerry McBride. How are you keeping?
Lovely stuff. Right, well this one is it's going to be a little noisier than the last one, while not parked on the side of the road looking like a couple of doggers, basically.
Basically. We're in motion now, so we are. So you may hear the occasional beep of a bus, click of an indicator, grinding of a gearbox.
That's the least of what people are going to hear, Gerry. They're going to hear Gerry swearing at idiots walking out into the middle of the road.
Yeah, and we're gonna hear the clipping of a cyclist or two.
Sweet.
Other than that, but we'll kick off straight away with speaking of grinding gearboxes. We're going to kick off with a segment that we call Giving Out Yards. Yes, indeed, the imperial version, not the metric.
So this is you, Gerry. Yeah, something's busting your head right now.
I'll tell you this much, Tom. This one got me spotted. I heard about it on the TV, and I spotted it in Eason's. It is a fortnightly magazine called Build Your Own 3D Printer.
The magazine is called.
The magazine says not the catchiest of titles, but that's what it's called. And basically, it's one of these. It's one of these ones, I'm sure you've seen them advertised many times. Issue 1, only $1.99. And then through 90 weekly parts, or fortnightly parts, or monthly parts, you will build your own whatever. You could build your own model of the Titanic.
Well, we all did these. We did the dinosaur one.
This is not a new thing, the dinosaur one. I remember doing the dinosaur one. And there was problems intrinsic with the system way back then that I feel are only exacerbated by Build Your Own 3D
How many magazines
printer.
do you need to get? I saw this when you pointed out to me, and I didn't get to read down through it fully. How many do you actually need?
You need 90 parts.
So they brought out a magazine dedicated to just the prize they're giving away.
To building a 3D printer. You would want to have the patience of Joe to build this 3D printer over... It's... You know what? If we
90
issues. Now, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're out weekly. If it's fortnightly, then this thing will be given to your grandchildren, okay?
But sure, but I think time the thing comes out. So how much you are going to have to spend?
Okay, well, we'll talk about spending time first. We'll give it weeks, which means you're going to be building this thing for 90 weeks.
90
That's
weeks.
Nearly 2 years, okay? Issue 1 only costs $1.99.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Always back in the day, is this $1.99 sterling? Because by the time I remember when I was growing, and we had this one shitty newsagent. He was the angriest man ever, and it'd say $1.99 on the ad, sterling or whatever, and it was pounds even back then. But when it would transfer and you get into the angry bastard in the shop, it'd be $6.45.
Yeah, well, it's €1.99 for the first issue. That's how they get you. That's how a drug dealer gets you, man. $1.99 for the first issue, and every other issue is €13.
What?
Okay? Yeah, so 90 13s. You're going to be paying somewhere in the region of €1,200 for your 3D printer. Now, I will say, Tom, that's cheap for a 3D printer, and I am very enthusiastic about how 3D printing as a technology is going to develop over the years to come. But I'm going to tell you this much: by the time you've passed 90 weekly issues over 2 years, you're going to have 3D printing blue balls like no man alive. Right?
But
you're going to be so ready to print yourself a little ornament or whatever the fuck it is.
I'm going to be expecting some 2 years time with the rate that technology changes. I'm expecting Demolition Man scenes fucking at any time. You know, with the 3 seashells in the toilet, like.
It's the craziest thing. And you know what it is? You know what the killing thing about the 3D printer thing is, which would get me, is it won't work until you have the last part. So
Jesus, yeah.
You're going to be looking at this half-built 3D printer.
Well, I saw the thing. I was expecting 3D printers to be looking bad. This thing looks like the shittest fucking cheese toaster maker of all time.
It looks like a Breville 3D printer.
It does, yeah.
And not only that, there has to come a time around about, I would imagine, around about the 48, 49 week mark.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're going to say, fuck this 3D printer.
But you've gone on holidays, you see. There's a period where you have to go on holidays or fuck off for a wedding somewhere.
And you miss an issue.
And they won't hang on to the issue in Eason's and fucking O'Connell Street.
And you're going to miss just this one little cog. I mean,
you'll miss, especially what we all said we missed, a rib,
yes,
or a fucking a piece of the backbone or a vertebrae is missing off your glow-in-the-dark dinosaur.
You know what it is? If you had a 3D printer, you could print the parts.
Yeah.
But you fucking don't. Because you don't have it. This is the thing. Around about the 49, 50 week mark, you're going to be looking at this half-built thing and you're going to say, do you know what? Fuck it. I don't have €14 a week to give away to piecemeal get a 3D printer.
God.
But you're going to be so deep into the pre-3D printing hole, you can't not buy the rest of it.
It's almost like somebody's, guy with a leather jacket, like, and a heavy beside him calls to your door on a Friday looking for the 14.99.
For the 14, are you going to finish the 3D printer? I mean, as you said yourself, the classic one when we were small was the glow-in-the-dark dinosaur. Now, I was big into dinosaurs when that came out. That was around about the Jurassic Park era when that came out. And, I remember that thing took... It felt like it took years to build.
Did you get it finished?
I got it finished. For the people that don't know it, it was... every week collect another bone and put it to this skeleton of a dinosaur, which is great. It sounds great. Issue 1 only 50p or whatever it was. The issue 1 came with the head of it, so it gave you enough.
Yeah. You get you going. Like,
to get you going, like you had something in your hand. But then, like for like months after, all you were getting was like a rib here.
Yeah. But they see, at least you had a newsagent nearby that was honest. The bad bastard that would say. That was in Care in Tipperary, you'd go in there and he's still saying to this day, the place looks like shit, it has never looked good. Right. It smells of just old man. But you'd go in there, he was the only guy who could get these specialty magazines or whatever. But you'd go, like by episode 3, you'd think, you go in, all of a sudden it's at episode 6.
You're like, where did it skip?
Did I? And he's like, oh no, you got that. The guy would just lie straight to a child in his face and go, no, you got that. Yeah, you got that. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get like, a leg or something? No.
This is one of these one-legged dinosaurs.
Yeah, they took a week off. But you're all right.
Do you know what the killing thing of it was? By the time I got the whole thing completed, the joints on the head were so loose because I've been... it was the only bit of it I had to play. I just take it apart and put it back together. Like the joints down towards the end of the tail, they were the last to come. They were fine. They were the tight, drum-tight joints.
But the neck to head was just shaking.
Just falling apart and the arms were falling across the thing. I really think when it comes to getting a 3D printer, €1,200 over 90 weeks, do you know what you do, right? You put a few pound away, you buy the goddamn thing outright, and then you can start printing there and then, not this shit of fucking dragging it out.
But there's I can't see, on the article, were they talking it up like this is a great, like surely even Harvey Norman does like, layaway, doesn't he? Like, or
you know what it is? If you're going to buy a 3D printer, Tom, it's like buying a PlayStation. Okay, you want to play with it there and then when you buy it.
I'll be honest with you, I never went to college to study how to build 3D printers. I don't want to be the bloke that builds the fucking printer, because if something goes wrong with it, who do I call?
And
myself?
It spews hot molten plastic all over the place. Yeah, it's just the kind of thing. This idea of you sitting bit by bit building this little. I would crack up.
Yeah,
I'd be like, look. Just let me print it now. And I will say now, the things that you can print out of a 3D printer,
you can print a 3D printer.
You can actually through time. I mean, it's a developing technology and it's very exciting. But at the minute, and on the first issue of the magazine, I flicked through it and it goes, look at all the things you can print, and it's just bullshit. It's just like little plastic bones and toys and little baubles and things like this. It's nothing.
Like until it can do like an engine part. Or it can do like a new remote control, because the last one, the dog ate the shit out of it.
Exactly, until it can print. I mean,
but it's like all these things, just wait a while. Wait a while, it'll be grand, there'll be a cheap one. You don't really need it to print like a tennis ball just yet.
I long for the day, I'm hardware by trade. I long for the day that every hardware shop in the country has a 3D printer, so when some customer comes walking in with a bit that snapped off their toilet that they bought in 1965, that's been discontinued for 50 fucking years, you can just say, let me scan it in here and I'll 3D print you one in the morning for €40.
It'd be like the paint shaker one, where you can, like, you were the legend of the paint shaking and paint mixing
and just
world.
Scan it on out But until then, 3D printer can take the bus, especially if you're going to fucking drip feed me it for 90 goddamn weeks. I'm done with this bullshit. What else have we got?
Well, we have to, the usual as we have every week, and I think I'll take this one this week, is, our gigs.
Oh, my worst gig ever.
Everybody wants to hear, and I swear to God,
Nobody wants to hear the good stories.
No, but this one was from, and it was like like your one, it was back in the day when you probably didn't have the mental wherewithal or to know how to take a step backwards mentally in the situation you're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you had one gear back then.
Yeah, you'd one gear. You could bang it out if the audience were amazing, but if anything went a bit awry, it goes pants. Now, I could even talk about the gig that just went this weekend, but I'm not going to, because it wouldn't even constitute.
It's too fresh in the memory.
To be honest, it's almost wiped off the hard drive already. To be fair, it's
the psychological effects of it have yet to grip.
Jesus. But this one was I was probably about 2.5 years into comedy at this stage, and all I'd ever done was comedy clubs and whatnot.
Right.
And I was scheduled to go down and do one in Cork, and this lady won't mind me admitting her name because she knows. She knows. Her name was Anne-Marie Lewis. She used to run a gig down in Cork called The Rebels. And it was it was lovely. But what she had tag-teamed on for me, if I didn't mind, and of course you're happy for any gigs.
Oh,
she said to me, look, I have another gig for you, and it's paid, few bobs is in it, and it's out in Douglas Village. I'm thinking, all right, I know Douglas. What's the idea of it? Says Anne-Marie. She says, it's fine, it's kind of a community thing. It's just people get together and they just want to put on, showcase different artist forms and all the rest of it, and they'll be singing and they'll be dancing and but by the time you're there it'll be early, so they'll be on tune for you doing comedy. I thought, all right,
it's these kind of mixed martial arts nights,
yeah,
I call them, where there's a bit of this and a bit of that.
Yeah,
they tend not to end well.
Well, imagine everybody came to see a Shaolin master monk, and this guy turns up with his origami set and that's kind of what you got. I turned up. Now my missus was with me. Now we were relatively, I suppose we were going together about a year at this stage, so she'd seen me do some good gigs, so she knew I could do something. But she'd seen a few doozies too in the time, but she kind of sensed it. Even though we both liked Anne-Marie, but she went, this could be a grenade, Tom. And I'm trying to look optimistic. But I don't know. As we're walking up to this community hall in Douglas, and out Anne-Marie comes out the door and she starts laughing straight into my face.
Right.
So we get there anyway, and in along, she comes out and starts laughing into my face. So you know something's up. She goes, Tom, I kind of sold you a bit of a red herring there.
Well, do you know what? At least she had the decency to say it to you.
She did, yeah. No, she knew what it was. She goes, but look, you'll have fun if you just treat it lighthearted. I swear to God, some guy called Benny Ryan was playing music from the Second World War on stage in front of none other than the local South Cork contingency of the ICA. Yeah.
Tom, do you ever... I'm gonna pause you on this one here. Okay, well, we're just going to let this one really mellow here for a little second. Just a statement there, you'll have fun. Has anybody ever said to you, look, you'll have fun?
Yeah.
And that ended up actually being fun?
No, never. Not once.
You know what that is? Whenever I hear, look, you'll have fun. That's
you'll have fun.
You'll brace yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what another great one when people tell you, this is things now things that kind of set you back. Okay, have fun is one of them. No, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Relax. That's another one.
Yeah, relax.
Or look relaxed.
There's a handful of them. Like, and I knew, like, she was honest enough, and you kind of like, look, you're going to have fun. They fucking mightn't.
There's fun to be had somewhere here.
Like, the problem was, I planned on having a couple of drinks because I wasn't going to drive that night. But that particular gig, I drove to. I had only wished. Never had I wished that I'd downed a bottle of Jack Daniels just beforehand. Then all I could hear was, my old man's a dustman and wears it, from through the doors. We're talking 1940s music. Pick up
you heard it coming through the doors.
Oh,
I can imagine what was going through your head. It'd be the question that I'd ask and turn around. So listen, what room am I in?
Yeah.
Because I'm clearly not in this one.
Will there be sound bleed, will there, from this to mine? Like, I mean, look, guys, I don't mind so long as the doors are kept closed all the time. Like,
so the ICA, Tom, for those who don't know, that's the Irish
Country Women's Association of Ireland. That's it.
And they're the old guard.
They typically don't come in the adolescence in these days, that's for sure.
But they're old school. They're the kind of women that would turn around and go, sure, why did you give us the vote? Sure, what would we know?
That's it. Burning bras? Sure, I never even owned a bra.
Yeah, sure, look at this. It's well for you that has a bra to burn. You shouldn't be burning it there. Get the ashes of it, we'll make something out of it.
Oh, this is it. Like, Sure, what would a girl be doing? Sure, starting a business. Huh? Getting a job.
There was a TV show on there not so long ago called ICA Boot Camp, in which
I saw one of them. Yeah,
young ladies. It was like a reality TV show kind of a thing where young ladies were taken out of mostly urban areas.
Urban areas. Yeah,
and put to the ICA boot camp, which is in, I think it's in Termonfeckin and Loud.
There's definitely, there is. That's the on-green on. That's
a chapter of it anyway down there.
There's almost the Grand Dragon, I know, resides there anyway.
And the show would basically smash the personality out of these ladies whatsoever. So they'd go
through crocheting.
They would be taught how to crochet.
Making bread. So what else does a woman need to know, huh?
Making bread was like the least of the worries. They'd be making sausage from a live pig, you know? It was like, you know, so listen,
get that mincer there.
We want you to make some black pudding out of this pig, but we want you to feed it to him alive towards the end of it. So you just have to bleed enough with the pig and mix him with the meal to get the black pudding made. And then the pig's still grand. Like, this was not an easy
Yeah.
show to
For
partake in.
for anybody who's trying to think of, did you ever see, it's the Irish version of the David Williams character in Little Britain, where he's extremely English. You know, he plays the old lady walking around with the English sheepdog getting sick on everything.
Yes.
That's essentially the Irish version of that, is what this entire audience. And this is just a precursor, Gerry. This was a night of terrible gigs, so I'm only just lining you up there now, right? I'm only just lining you up there now. I get in the door, right? Standing by the side. I can feel my head heating up. Have you ever seen... You know that feeling when you're...
I know that feeling.
And it wasn't particularly hot in there. It was just that my head was heating up. I said to Anne-Marie, I said, what, 5-10 minutes? Because surely these women aren't waiting around for me. She had half an hour scheduled in for Tom.
Jeez.
I barely had half an hour. I don't think I even had half an hour.
You know what? When you don't have a half an hour of material, you could normally make it up with having a crack with the audience.
No.
What's your opener for the ICA, Tom?
How are the girls? All I could do is make references to how they were all must have been off to see One Direction and things like that. You know, that they were so young. I just tried to be essentially my grandfather on stage, just kind of being a bit...
And did
You're looking very salubrious there, girls, you know.
Was it all ICA or was there anybody else?
No, it was all ICA.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was all dedicated to the ICA.
Do you know who I'm seeing here now? I'm seeing Nick Cage at the end of The Wicker Man.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, I almost had an actual falling down moment, you know, like Michael Douglas, where his eyes starts to twitch and everything. Like
the veins go. Come here. How much of the proposed 30 minutes?
I lasted 17 and a half minutes.
But that is not bad going.
And do you know, to give you a synopsis of the gig, I ended by doing a breakdance. That was it. But thankfully, the guy that was on, the family that were on next, with the accordions, I don't know, they were the Murphys from Inishannon. They were playing accordions and the spoons. They were lined up next, and thank God the 12-year-old young fella could see I was dying on me hoop 7 ways from Sunday, and he rallied the troops and just said, come on, get on in there.
Yeah, you know what the killing thing with gigs like that is, Tom? Like, you show up at things like this. I remember certainly the early days, you'd never once back down.
No.
Because you always get a notion, if anybody's new starting off in comedy like this, you know, there's the song "The Gambler." You got to know when to walk away.
Yeah. No, there's no walking away.
There's no walking away, because you really feel, no matter though this is a once-off gig to the ladies of the ICA in Douglas, you really feel that if you welsh on that gig,
oh, that's it. That's me done.
You're
Chortle
done.
are going to know about it.
Done. You are blackballed from comedy for the rest of your life. And it generally isn't. Like, if you don't show up at certain comedy clubs.
Yeah, you're going to get a bad name.
That could be a different story. But you know what? Something like the ICA Ladies Boot Campaign, that's the kind of thing you could walk away from.
Yeah, I think they could have done without me. Given that there was a whole lineup, like the Murphy family from Inishannon were on next with their spoons and fucking accordions. I think they could have done without Tom moonwalking and talking about fucking brown bread.
I'm pretty sure the Murphys could have played like an extended encore towards the end of it, because you rest assured, Tom, even though you were scheduled to do a half an hour, that gig probably ran about an hour too long.
Oh, you know it. Well, you see, the thing was, somebody made too many sandwiches apparently and far too much tea, so everybody was asked to extend it. Like, I was originally to do 15, but it was only then Anne-Marie went, prior to me getting there, Asher Tom will do a half an hour.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
So yeah, that was the precursor. That was the precursor to that, because I got the car stowed immediately after. Like, ran away out of this place. Told Anne-Marie I would see her later on in town.
Right.
Because she was an evil woman. She just laughed and laughed and laughed. You have never heard of, and she's the most hideous laugh. This woman actually got onto Harry Hill's TV burp from a video at her own wedding, taken from the 80s, a VHS, because her laugh came number 2 last year in the most ludicrous laugh.
So we could look this up on YouTube.
Yeah, we can look this up. Basically,
we'll stick a link on the Twitter.
Anne-Marie Lewis laughing like a horse. That's essentially, it's the most hideous thing you've ever heard. But she laughed like that as I sat into the car. So I drove on in, dumped the car inside in town. Myself and herself had to hit the bar, because if I was doing this gig later for her, I needed a couple of drinks after what had just happened to wipe it from the memory. To at least sweep out the absolute mess that had just shit all over my brain, essentially, and what I'd just done. So I get into the gig. Starts off quite nice. They're all in there. This seems like a nice room. It's a lovely room upstairs, and
this is a double punch, isn't it?
This is a double punch.
It's not a fucking sequel.
This is the thing, because everything told you. it was going to be a good gig. That's the thing. Even to this day, if you or I sat in this particular room, you go, this is going to be an alright gig. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's in good nature. Yeah, alright. Now, I was actually closing this show. It was probably one of the first ones I ever got to close or whatever.
Right. That's another nice...
Yeah, that's another nice feeling. But the only problem is that I didn't really have control over my booze at the time. But to be fair, I wasn't going too hard at it. I was able to control myself. And it was a small, paltry... This room was full. It was upstairs in the Windsor Rain. This holds about 45 people. There was about 42 in there.
Well, that's a good night.
But the last 3 lads came in and filled it out. Nice. They were grand. Okay. 2 of the lads were grand.
I'm not seeing a problem with this one.
You won't. Until I said something about... I just used the word short. The word short, right? You'd think that wouldn't get you into too much trouble.
No, I was kind of crossing my fingers you weren't going to say several other words.
No, until you realise one of the lads who's piss drunk...
Yes.
Is quite short.
Yeah, how short was he?
He was dwarf short.
He was like that short.
Like
high.
We're talking Oompa Loompa short.
Oh my God, Jesus.
And I had said the word short in relation to the manner of, a period of time. And I said something, and he went, you taking the piss out of me? And I thought, what a genius, what a great guy. He's got such confidence in himself that he can just jump on that and just throw a nice little heckle in there. No, he fucking didn't.
He was deadly serious.
Absolutely meant. Nobody in this world is allowed to use the phrase short with an earshot of this guy. Now, I look over, and I'm not... Obviously, you can't let a heckler have the better... I went, no, but... to be honest with you, I wouldn't have said it. I thought you were a child holding your father's pint of Bulmers. Because it did. That's what it did. Look, his tiny little hand was holding onto a pint bottle. His tiny hands, I should say, was holding onto a pint bottle. And he was drinking from it like a fucking sippy cup. And that's when the fucker stormed the stage, dropped the ball, off he fucking went straight at my nuts, like something out of fucking Jackass. I swear to God, I thought this is the greatest plant of all time, Anne-Marie, but nobody's fucking laughing, because everybody started a little bit, then they copped. Oh, fuck.
This is a genuine incident.
This is a genuine incident. Your man's buddies had to fucking wrestle him off me. I was only 7 or 8 minutes into my 20-minute set. That was it. End of the show. Anne-Marie had to jump on the mic. They'd peel this guy off me. Security had to come upstairs, tear the midget down the stairs like they'd kicking and screaming. Jesus. Because it had escalated in this guy's head that I was after... Well, I had said a few more things at this stage, but as you fucking would.
Well, as you would, yeah.
That was all well and good, but he was friends with the owner.
Fuck me.
I forgot to mention we were staying at the Windsor Inn.
Right.
So myself and the missus, when we wrapped up the gig, we went down and out the back door in case he was downstairs having a drink, because I couldn't have this little terrier at me again. So we went up the road, up to, I can't remember, it was called the Shelburne, it's on Washington Street. Went up the road to have a drink. Said, right, it's about closing time, we'll head on back, we'll go straight into bed. But we got back to the Windsor, and it's a late bar.
Right.
Well, it's not a late bar, but it gets looked over when it comes to lock-ins. So you can't turn down a lock-in.
That's the country.
Start pointing away. Who comes around the fucking side of the bar?
Fucking me.
Yeah. You fucking bollocks, was his opening line. Oh, sweet suffering Jesus. 25 minutes I had to give talking. I don't want to say talking this guy down, because he couldn't get down much more. He was a fucking midget, but...
Snake's belly.
Oh, my fucking God. It was...
See, this is the thing people don't realise when they say, what's your worst gig ever, Tom? They think you're going to say, well, I told a few jokes that didn't go.
Oh!
If
that's all that happened. If that's all that happened.
There is so much either side of it to even make it into the top 20 of our worst gigs ever.
Oh my God, the incendiary things that goes, all and sundries that go with it. Like a fucking midget. Like a midget.
Tackling you off.
His two buddies, like he was the real ringleader. Like his two buddies like, seriously, fucking Jamesy, come on, it's grand. Jamesy was like, you two shut the fuck up. I'm having a go at this guy.
This is after you did the gig to the fucking ICA.
Yeah. I had to deal with this.
You know what?
How did I not jack it in after that?
I just don't fucking know. Well, that will qualify, I think, for this week's
worst gig ever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Alright, plowing straight on ahead.
Oh man, I need a drink after
I know,
that.
I do need a drink after that. But it is, it's this part of the show, Gerry, where I think we reveal our true colours, and obviously we are culty, but we have that bit in the show where we like to
reminisce, shall we say.
Reminisce.
Because we're from the country, but every now and then we got a small little glimmer of what it was like to get the hell out of where we lived.
Yeah.
And go someplace, and we like to talk about that in a segment we call...
Culty's Day Out.
Culty's Day Out.
This one's you, Gerry.
This one's on me.
How was it? How was it in your youth?
It was good. I mean, we did okay for getting out of Monaghan. I'm from Carrickmacross originally.
Give us a brief synopsis of what we're talking about. What do we set the scene?
We're talking about Dublin, baby. I had an aunt that lived in Dublin, and that meant that every so often we would get on.
Was she a nun?
She wasn't a nun. She was a nurse.
Oh, okay, right.
I'd say that was your second choice.
Yeah, it actually was that, and third would have been teacher.
Third would have been teacher. She was a nurse, and she lived up here, and we would get up to come up and stay with her every so often, and we just thought there was nothing like this in the world.
Knees.
It was up into the city, and of course, like, you know, we never seen anything like it before in our lives, and through time we ran out of places to go.
What?
As you can imagine, when you came up into the city quite often, or
yeah, well,
once, twice a year. There's only so many times you can go to the zoo.
Yeah, you know, well, you're not going to be rocking Cafe Insane when you're 8. You know,
No, you really aren't. Yeah, only so many times you can go to the zoo. There's only so many times you can go to, say, for example,
the Wax Museum.
The Wax Museum. Those were two stalwarts.
But the cinema was always a decent backup.
The cinema was always a decent backup. We never really went to the cinema because it was something like the whole family would want to do it.
Okay, yeah.
And such like. But one day, we said that we loved swimming, which we did. We loved swimming. That was our thing. So we were brought to the Rainbow Rapids.
Oh my God! I'll be honest. I don't know what the Rainbow Rapids. They sound amazing.
That just didn't sink there, Tom. But I'm sure there's people that would be listening
the Rainbow
to this.
Rapids.
That all of a sudden their little 80s born brains will be going.
I'm all excited
shit.
here because all I remember was Trabolgan when I was young, like, and that was. I mean, it was class. It was shit, but it was class.
Well, then that just basically sums up. I think
that sums up.
I think shit but class is a whole industry in the 80s.
I think that was the 80s, kind of shit but class.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna put something up over here. Or what's your business model? Well, it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, but if it's going to be shit, yeah, we need class. Yeah.
The Rainbow Rapids, and again, this was a thing that I had to look up lately, because these are just in your brain. You remember where you were, how you actually got there. You know,
where were they based on your?
They were in Dunleary.
Oh,
yeah, they were in Dunleary, and my aunt lived in Cabra. So how we got from A to B, I don't know. Did we get a bus? I don't remember. Just the rapids blew my fucking mind. Now, what it was, Tom, was water slides.
Yeah,
it was a water park.
Did they have the mushrooms, where the water would come pissing out of the underside of a mushroom?
No, they did not have that, Tom.
Okay,
no. They had 2 slides.
Were they enclosed, like pipes?
They were 2 piped slides.
Okay,
one was yellow and one was green.
Okay.
Now, my memory's making it yellow. It could have been white, but the green one was certainly.
It could have been white when it came out of the factory.
Yeah, it's yellow now.
Years of tarnished fiberglass.
And it was beside the sea in Dunleary. So people that go to Dunleary now, maybe they'll be able to tell me whether or not the building is actually still there. The business is long since gone. It was 2 slides. And the best thing about it was, I remember, and I don't remember how we got to it. Again, your brain will play tricks on you as years go by, and you forget the logistics of it, like where we would have fucking parked in Dunleary. Who knows? What did we eat that day? Don't remember, but I remember approaching the building that housed the Rainbow Rapids and seeing those yellow and green tube slides.
Okay, did they come out of the building?
They came out of the building
my God.
and snaked around it like an anaconda that was crushing the building to death.
Engineering involved in it.
It was unmerciful. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Are we actually going to go around these slides? Because I'd never been to Mosney at this stage. I'd never been on a water slide in my life, and my mind was just blown. I was like, are you fucking...
Were you a river swimmer during the summer?
I was not a river swimmer. We swam in Newry swimming pool, which was it was the closest one to us. It was indoor. It was heated.
Well, it would be. It's
British. The Nordy lifeguards absolutely would not let you drown.
As though you were a big Catholic head in you.
Even though you
splashing
had
around
this big fucking Southern Tato head in you. They'd look after you. They didn't want demerits, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't want to make a martyr out of you.
Now, the Rainbow Rapids in Dunleary, I researched it coming into this podcast, and I knew I was going to be talking. It was at the Dunleary bathhouse, which was very old-fashioned sort of bathhouse.
Yeah, it's like Leamington Spa or one of those places.
Exactly, yes. And I remember, the more I looked it up, the more the memories came flooding back. There was a swimming pool outside. So if you can imagine a swimming pool which was just the sea water that came in to an enclosed...
It was the sea, but just...
It was the sea with a wall around it, yes. A section of the sea with the wall around it. And because I remember that we went out and got into it, and it was fucking Baltic, and we were like, get the hell in there real quick. Get us to these slides, okay? Because my parents really, really wanted us to get the value. It was myself and my sister and one of my cousins. Really wanted us to get the value out of our time. So it was like, get as much swimming as you're doing. Go out and swim in the pool outside.
Yeah, cover every square inch of this place.
And we were like, no, fuck off. We're not going to this thing. We're going to go. This is what we came here to slide. So we are going to fucking
Were you
slide.
one of those little mad bastards shot up? Like, did you have a good look first, or did you go, fuck it, I'm in there, yeah.
There was basically just two ways you could go down. One, either in the yellow slide or in the green slide. And you went up this staircase. All these little shivering little kids in the nip, in their swimsuits, kind of standing shivering on these stairs, going up. And all you could see was tube, and then you were in it, and you were gone. And I remember we had 5 slides. That's what we had. You paid for your slides.
You paid per slide?
You paid, and you got X amount of slides. It wasn't that you just went all day on it.
Oh, bollocks.
And in my research, I seen that I seen like the old sign that was how many slides. This is how bad it was. It was like 50p for 5 slides, 12 slides for £1, or 25 slides for £2. We got 5 slides.
But to be fair, I mean, what mad bastard goes, you know what, I just won't have enough in 20.
Yeah, well, this is it. But at the same time, like, you know, you gotta say to my mum and dad that took us all the way fucking out to Dunleary, you could have swung for 10.
They could have swung for 10, alright. But
let's get the use out of this, because you went down the slides and the slides were just amazing.
But the only thing is, you have to make your commitment at the beginning. To go, well, I'm only fucking committing to 5, because if you commit to 10, you got to stick to 10, because there's no going back for.
Oh, we wouldn't.
Where would you keep the money?
We wouldn't have been allowed to pay for 10 slides and not get 10 slides.
Yeah. Even if you were dying.
Even if we were dying and we hated it, we were going to go the extra slides. But we went down it, and the experience of going down a tube slide as a child, Tom, as you can imagine, was just incredible.
It's everything it should be. It's awesome.
It's just everything you imagine. As jaded bitterness strikes in later life, it wouldn't have the same effect. But being a young man, I felt I fucking died halfway down the slide. I was just like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. And you came out in a tiny little pool that was about the size of a trailer. It was just enough to stop you from smashing into the stairs.
But heaven forbid there was a child standing around rubbing his eyes.
Oh,
he was getting cleaned out of it.
You were getting cleaned out of it. But here's the damn thing, okay? Here's the damnedest thing, okay? We would land out in the little pool. And I don't remember if it was my mum or my dad. I don't remember which of them was standing there. But I remember them telling us, have a little swim there before you come out. Get your money's worth.
Get your
60
You're not wrinkly. You're not wrinkly. No, get back in.
Because all we wanted to do was run the fuck back up.
And
go on these slides again. And we had 5, so we wanted to go on the yellow one twice, the green one twice, and then whichever one turned out to be the fastest. And there was great debate as to which slide was indeed the fastest. You know what I mean? And all the kids that were around there, and the little dub kids were all, you should go on the green one. The green one's faster.
You should go on the green one.
The green one's far better. The other one's
look, Dunleary now, it wouldn't have been strong out in Dunleary, like, would it?
Well, the memory's playing tricks.
I would imagine there would have been a fair few. You should totally go in the green one. You should totally go in it.
Unbelievable. But I just distinctly remember on my last slide not knowing whether to go down the yellow one or the green one. This was big business. This was something you were going to regret for the rest of your life.
How big of a head did you have going back to school Monday morning? Lads, I can't even fucking describe it to you.
We had to. I remember we had to like write little stories when you got home off your when you went back to school after your summer holidays, which is when we went to the Rainbow Rapids.
Oh, right.
And it was like how I spent my summer holidays. I went down 5 slides on the Rainbow Rapids. Draw a little picture of it. Give me your green crayon there.
Even the teacher's gone, bollocks. I would have loved to have gone in the Rainbow Rapids.
And if anybody has memories of the Rainbow Rapids, feel free to share them. But for this week, that's my Colchie's Day Out.
Fantastic. All right, I think we'll knock it on the head there, Gerry.
I think we'll wrap that one up. Tom, thanks a million to everybody for listening. Please remember to share with your friends and follow us on Twitter. Yes, at Tom and Gerry Show will get us. And again, I'm so fucking happy that I got that Twitter handle. I mean,
that's unbelievable.
That's one of my
no underscores, no ones or twos stuck to it.
No ones, no twos, no spaces. Tom and Gerry. Not even an ampersand.
Nah!
I didn't have to put Tom ampersand Gerry.
I wonder will Disney come after us for it, like, or the Warner Brothers?
The Warner Brothers. We see, I spell my name with a G. So
I know. I thought they would have cornered that, like, because I mean,
they can absolutely go fuck
go
themselves.
fuck themselves. All right, that's all for this week, folks. All the best. Bye bye.
Signing off. Good luck. Bye bye.